the first time, kindly subscribe and click on the notification bell so that every time we post, you will be notified. To all those that have already subscribed, thank you so very much for showing
the biggest animal, the animal, the killer. Okay, 1, 2. The killer.
Washua mwanimesa manyazi kacho kabwaji chinyama wazawa mtumesa manyazi wazawa nyama za mkangani kusunga ngati paisa kinyama vikulu so visichoka chili hapa bantu wapita enda manyumba bushi makangi watape alase muchivale tumangeposha pili mo hapa munda wanga muivale tumangeposha pili mo chivaliwe mzaki paisa makangi wa shito chivaliwe iwe nanganyako zawa iyo nyako zawa chivaliwe wachipaya jo chini niya poma kali poma kangiwa
Good morning, countrymen and women, and welcome to this very brief interaction with people on my Facebook, and of course, all those who are watching us from within the borders of Zambia and outside the borders of Zambia. It has come to my attention through social media that some people have posted and stated that I said the 2021 general elections must be postponed. To the contrary, I have never, and I did not. Me, if COVID will be at its peak to the extent that we can't have public meetings and all that, we have to think to come together, all stakeholders, and agree on the way forward if we have to go ahead with the election. Issue any statement to that effect. Yesterday, I was visited by reporters from ZNBC. I'm sure you have seen that I've avoided speaking to the country because of certain reasons that are beyond my control. And of course, through advice from family and close associates. I don't want to dwell on that issue, but I can rest assure you that even in war, there is a time that you attack and then you kind of retreat replan, and attack. That is only normal. And in politics, that is very, very important. Yesterday, when I was approached by the reporters from ZNBC, I accepted to issue a statement because that matter is of great importance to this nation, is of great importance to our democratic dispensation, is of great importance to the future of elections in this country. Because the issue that they came to discuss with me was very fundamental, and really it would have not been in my interest, in the interest of the country, and in the interest of the general citizenry to keep quiet over this issue. What the people asked me was to comment on the statement by EC's Electoral Commission of Zambia, where they were saying that political parties must find ways of campaigning without holding public rallies or without holding what are known as what's a simple word can I use? Without holding rallies, as per se, or public gatherings. And my response was as follows. My response was as follows. I said, there is nowhere in the world where you can hold elections without public meetings. Then what you hold is not called an election. If you go ahead and hold elections without public meetings, that is not an election. Elections are synonymous with public meetings because that is the only platform you can get to the people of Zambia. Because when you look at what is going on in this country today, there is only one media house, which is ZNBC. And on ZNBC, the opposition are not covered. So how will the people in the opposition interact and speak to the people of Zambia to tell them their manifesto, how they want to do things if there will be no public meetings? And my emphasis was that anything being held without public meetings is not an election. And I gave examples to say that in America, COVID was at highest peak, but the public meetings were going on. In America, COVID was at its highest peak, but Joe Biden, the current president of the United States of America, Mr. Trump, the former president, were going round all the states to hold public meetings, because there is no way you can hold elections without public meetings. Then what will be held is not an election. If COVID will be at its highest peak, then we all have to meet as stakeholders and think outside the box. I never ever insinuated or said that the elections must not be held. How can I say that elections must be postponed? Because that is a constitutional provision. There is nobody, unless the constitution is changed, who can stop the elections on the 12th of August. Unless Parliament convenes and change the provision in there. Who am I to go for, deferring the elections? All I was saying, in short, elections must be held and there must be public meetings. Because public meetings are the only way you can communicate to the people. And I also gave an example to say, look, in Uganda, President Museveni was saying the opposition must not hold the public meetings because there is COVID. But him was holding public meetings, big, large public meetings, public rallies. But on the other side was telling the opposition not to hold public meetings. Why didn't Museveni lead by example by not having public meetings? Because he knew that there can be no elections without public meetings. If these elections have to go on in short, public meetings must be allowed. You cannot divorce elections from public meetings. That is unreasonable and it can never happen. Not in this world, countrymen. So for those foolish people who have decided to twist and say KAMBWILI was going for postpone, I am a politician, baked politician. I am not naive. I am not naive. I know what I talk about, and when I talk about, I have thought through. I'm not a person who speaks and starts thinking. I think before I speak. That is CHISHIMBA KAMBWILI for you. And I want to appeal to the Zambians. There should be no elections without public rallies, public meetings, but the elections must be held on the 12th of August 2021. Just like the Americans held their meetings, held their elections on the day defined by the Constitution. Just like in Uganda, they held meetings with they held their elections with public meetings going on, because you cannot divorce public meetings from an election. I hope I've made this very, very clear, crystal clear. And please understand that I'm a politician from the Maikosata School of Politics and Strategic Thinking. And I am so critical on issues. And when handling national issues, nobody, and I mean nobody, can compromise me. If I were to be compromised, I have lost all my businesses. I could have been compromised. I cannot, and I will never be compromised. Come 2021, 12th August, elections must be held, and public rallies must be allowed. It is not the job of the Electoral Commission of Zambia to tell us not to hold public rallies. It's not their job. It's not their mandate. And they must behave. Long live Zambia. Thank you very much.